This is Kathy Beal of EmpowermentUnlimited.net with Astro-Insight for the week of May 25th, 2020. This week is brought to you by the planet Mercury. Many reasons for this. Mercury rules the sign of Gemini and communication, and he is in his last days in his airy home. Mercury is in charge of Venus retrograde in Gemini, which has us revisiting all kinds of things having to do with what we value with our friends, with past loves, with past business deals, with just the attitude about money. Mercury is in charge of the Gemini new moon that happened on Friday, which is ushering in a new phase, or the current phase, in how we communicate. And all of this is creating quite the clatter, the chatter, the racket, the flurry, the veritable tornado of information. And add to that Mercury and Venus have been in a stressful relationship with the cosmic fog machine that is run by Neptune. There have been huge issues of illusion, delusion, what is real, creativity peaking, and you can spell that P-E-A-K-I-N-G or P-E-E-K-I-N-G. Increased creative output, things coming back from the past, projects, ideas, inspirations, people, all of those things. Birthed again by the Gemini new moon, ruled by Mercury, and this new moon is setting the stage for the next eclipse family on the Gemini-Sagittarius axis. These eclipses return to us next month for the first time in about 19 years. So even though it may feel like you're running in place or even running backward, there is a futuristic, future-focused bent to so much of the chatter and the information exchange that's happening this week. The four notable astrological events of the week all have to do with information exchange with our minds, with what we do, and three of them involve Mercury, hence his being the host. Mercury is in three choice point adjustment aspects this week, giving us moments of, do I go this way or that way? Moments of choices all having to do with the deep level, really big, profound, widespread cultural, societal, collective shifts that we've been going through. This is a week for our minds to grapple with the time out, with the pandemic, with social distancing, with everything that has been going on since January in most instances, since middle of March in one instance, and make choices based on what is real and true for each of us. Mercury makes a quincunx, or this adjustment aspect, first with Pluto in Capricorn, the lord of unavoidable change, the forces of nature, death and rebirth, the keeper of everything hidden deep within us and in the back rooms and shadows. You may be assimilating an uncomfortable truth, an inconvenient truth, an unpleasant truth. You may be changing the way you look at life and your long-term goals, what you run through your mind, how you let your mouth work. You may make very specific, deliberate choices about what you allow yourself to entertain, what you expose yourself to. Let the unfriending and blocking begin. This is a week of really winnowing down what you let come into your field. That is exact on the 25th. The next day, we get to make another set of choices about, are we going to envision a bounteous future? What is the silver lining? How can we expand what we're doing with our minds? How can we look even bigger than what we're doing? Or, alternatively, are we going to just devolve more and more into anxiety, negativity, paranoia? You've seen those things. The adjustment aspect with Pluto is exact on the 25th, with beneficent Jupiter is exact on the 26th, so they're pretty much simultaneous events for all practical purposes. These two events invite you to make very distinct choices about how your view of yourself, how your working of your mind, what your thought processes are, how they have been affected by what you've been going through since March, and really effectively since January. So this is the Phoenix moment now coming to your brain, to your mind, to your mouth, to your communication stream, and also to how you get around on, in your neighborhood. Your area of commute, how you move about, is also part of this. A stroke of genius is available to you in all of this because while this is occurring, there is a flash of lightning that you can actually grab onto. There is a motivation that is on offer, a catalyst, a different way of doing things, a way of implementing something that is quite different, innovative, unconventional, inspired. Mars, the planet that rules how we push our will out into the world, so he's the ruler of our drive and our action, is in an opportunity aspect with genius Uranus, the agent of radical and volatile change. Uranus is the crazy genius uncle, the higher octave of Mercury. And he, for the next few years and for the last couple of years, is in a very grounded, paradoxical, earthbound mode in the sign of Taurus. There could be opportunities here to actually implement something here and now, to actually bring something innovative, to push forward ideas in a really innovative and different way here in your mundane life. They could involve money. They could involve your physical experience of life. They could involve the actual tangible expression of creativity. They could involve coming up with a way to actually connect with the things that we value and especially with the people that we value. Watch for that. So while these three influences are hanging in the air, Mercury changes clothes. He changes his manner of expression. And we move into a much more emotional, non-rational, gut-based, sensitive, tender way of expressing ourselves. Now, some people can degenerate into a pity party with this. Some people can choose to take everything personally, no matter what happens, putting it through a filter where their experience, their perspective is only, what does this mean about me? Other people can react to this by putting the focus on how can I nurture, by putting the focus on tenderness and looking at your own home, your own family, your own situation, but perhaps that is more than just what's going on within your walls. Mercury is moving into the hypersensitive, hyper-emotional, hyper-tender sign of Cancer on the 28th. And it is in this sign that his next retrograde will begin in June. So just be aware that we're going to have more of an emotional content and less of a mental, intellectual, detached, dare I say, rational streak to content, as if you could put the word rational on much of anything that's been happening lately. And as soon as Mercury makes this shift, he hits the final crossroads moment, puts us at the final big choice of the week. On the 29th, he's in an adjustment aspect with Saturn, Lord of order, rules, responsibilities, restriction. I call him the planet of adulting. There's going to be something here having to do with the lockdowns, the social distancing, thinking about things in a different way, thinking about how we're going to exist collectively, information, choices about what is true for us, what is not true for us, lots of decisions being made. Did I mention that Saturn is the planet of adulting. So there's something here about taking responsibility, being mature, taking responsibility for yourself, taking responsibility for your own nurturing, and particularly in the information that you let flow in and out of your mind and mouth. Homing thought of the week: I am the gatekeeper to my mind. Song of the week, I've got a couple. My Way by Frank Sinatra and Should I Stay or Should I Go by The Clash. And the image of the week is a train track that branches into a Y, and the train chooses which direction it's going to go, and then travels a little further, and there's another Y, and the train goes one direction or the other, and then yet another Y in the track, and the train again chooses which way it's going to go. There's lots more about all this at my site, empowermentunlimited.net, where you can sign up for my mailing list, read my monthly and moon casts, and book a session with me. There's lively discussion on Facebook at Empowerment Unlimited and the group The Astro-Insight Lounge. Lots of bonus content at patreon.com/Kathy Beal. And I'm really, really grateful to the people who are keeping these forecasts going by supporting me there. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you. I have whatever I feel like at Instagram at @KABeal, and I'm on YouTube at The Professional Aquarian Channel. Talk to you next week.